Hi, I'm Kerry Grinkmeyer. I'm the host of Best of Us in Retirement. I'm a retired financial advisor, and I was reflecting on what are some of the mistakes that I saw people make relative to moving into retirement or being in retirement over my years as a financial advisor. Some of them are pretty tragic, and some of them are pretty obvious. And so I went through my life's memories, my financial planning memories, and I came up with a couple of them that I think maybe you can learn from, and you can make sure that you don't fall into the same trap. The first one, and the most dramatic, was what I call Chicken Little. There's a lot of people who become Chicken Littles and say, the sky is falling, I need to get out of the market, I need to go sit on the sideline, I need to put my money under the mattress. Well, this guy, Donald, and his wife came into my office back in, I guess mid-1999 and said, I've been looking into it, and this changing of the clock from 1999 to 2000 is going to crash all the computers in the world, and the world's going to go into panic, and I need to liquidate my assets. And I told Donald, I don't think that's going to happen, Donald. Well, I do, he said. In fact, we are selling our house, we're selling our cars, we're buying used cars, and we're buying a piece of land out south of Birmingham, and it's got a cabin on it, it's got a stream on it, we got land we can farm, and we're getting out. And that's what he did. He packed up, and by October, 1st of October, they were out of Birmingham. They were they were living off the land, and they were getting ready for the crash. And it didn't happen. Do I see that? Yeah. I had my cataract surgery yesterday, and was talking to a young lady who's my anesthesiologist, and she said they were sitting in cash, waiting for the crash. That's a mistake, folks. All you got to do is look back at history. Yeah, crashes occur, but we recover from them. There's other ways to do that. So it's called a cash reserve. Put aside enough money to take care of you if for the next 3 to 5 years there is a crash, but leave the rest of it invested in stocks that are going to grow. My second one was the cat lady. The cat lady basically cared about her family and her cats, and she was, in fact, saving her money basically to give it to the Humane Society when she passed away. And I asked Elizabeth, why are you doing that, Elizabeth? She said, because when I was a young girl, I went to school and everybody made fun of me. And so I went home, and she lived in the Deep South, went under the house, and the only people who came to comfort me were my cats. So Elizabeth lived with a number of cats, and she was going to give everything that she had to her cats. I said, well, what about your sister, and what about her family? They got their own. I'm going to give it to the cats. Okay. I guess if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. And yeah, the Humane Society need it, but I thought that was a little bit of a mistake. You could do more than that. Then the other one that really strikes out in my mind is the country club doctor. This was a doctor who did quite well. Then as Medicare came in, and his funds, what he was able to charge for his services were reduced substantially, and his income went down substantially, and he didn't know how to recover it, and he would not stop his membership in the country club. He would not stop his membership in his hunt club, that he went once a year and hunted turkeys in South Alabama. And he paid an annual fee to belong to it. And I said to him, Doc, you need to cut those expenses and get your life back in so you can fund your 401k. Well, as we got into it deeper, he was borrowing heavily from his 401k to keep up his lifestyle. He was basically mortgaging his retirement funds to take care of his current lifestyle. That's not a way to go into retirement, because particularly as a doctor, if you're borrowing from your 401k and you've got to retire, you aren't going to have any income. So therefore, you can't mortgage your retirement funds in an effort to maintain your lifestyle. That would be the next one. The next one was what I called the best parents in the world. This was another doctor who basically had a 36-year-old son who had moved through. He was started as an insurance salesman. Then he went and he didn't succeed at that. And then he became a banker, and then he became a financial planner. And right now he was a insurance salesman. He had a family, but he couldn't succeed. But his father was a doctor, and he supported. He supported his son, and he supported his son's exuberant spending as well as his own exuberant spending. His wife was always the most fashionable woman that would come into my office, but they were running out of money because they were not managing their money. And that brings me to I guess the biggest mistake that I think that retired people make and people moving into retirement make, and that is financial illiteracy. They do not understand the financial markets, and it appears in a lot of ways. First of all, a lot of times they're doctors, they're lawyers, they're engineers, they're people making a lot of money. I called them the lottery winners. They picked the right career and they became the lottery winners. And we know what happens to 80% of all lottery winners. They are broke within 5 years of winning the lottery, because they rely on other people's advice, and where they are financially illiterate. They actually become sometimes one of their friends tells them, hey, there's a wonderful opportunity in day trading and swing trading, and you can magnify your money. Or they say, hey, the brother-in-law shows up and I have this wonderful idea for a business, a restaurant, who's never been in the restaurant business, and they invest in them. And again, these are not lottery winners. These are well-paid people who have accumulated money and get wrapped into investments that they don't know anything about. And they dump their money into it and they lose it. The other thing that I ran into on several occasions is people who make mistakes in their career, and they create financial obligations that they can't meet. And in doctors' cases, I know I had 3 doctors who actually then started selling drugs to their patients, or prescriptions for drugs to maintain their style of living. 2 of them actually ended up committing suicide. And then the worst thing, and it goes even beyond this element, is they leave their wife financially illiterate. They leave their wife with their debt, with their bad investments, to try to bail themselves out. And many times then that wife gets taken advantage of. So I guess my point is here, if you're retired and if you're doing okay and you're doing well, don't leave your spouse out in the cold, and because you might drop dead tomorrow and she doesn't know, or he doesn't know a thing about, he doesn't even know how to access your brokerage accounts. He doesn't have a relationship, or she doesn't have a relationship with your financial advisor. They don't even know your passwords on your computer. They don't know the combination to your safe. They don't know about any insurance policies that you have. So you as an A-dog, a personality that drives everything, keeps everything to yourself, and then doesn't share it with your spouse, and then for one reason or another you're not there, and your spouse is left out on her own. And when he or she is left on their own, the vultures show up and they come to take advantage. So I guess if I said the biggest mistake you could make is not keeping your significant other up to speed. Second is supporting your children or your grandchildren at your expense. And then, like the cat lady, playing it too conservative, that you don't take advantage of the growth opportunities in the assets around you. Those are the mistakes, the real world mistakes that I have seen. I guess the one that, again, going back to, that I would be most ashamed of is if I left my spouse high and dry because of bad investments that I made, because of not keeping them informed, not having someone, and if it's not your spouse, maybe it's one of your children who knows where your assets are, how they're distributed, where your will is. That's another one. People who do not provide through the use of a will or a trust to support those that they leave behind. These are the kind of mistakes that I see people make where they just are financially illiterate. Okay, those are the things I think you need to be aware of, and I hope this video helps you. If you do, give it a thumbs up, a like, and subscribe to the channel so that I can help more people from the knowledge I've accumulated through my financial planning career and through my retirement. All right, I'll talk to you again soon.